He has no shame to come at a girl and say these things and think that there's no repercussions or we're too scared to do anything about it. And that's especially why I felt, drama or no drama, I need to talk about this and like put it out there.
Creative Conversations.
Hey Zouk family, welcome back. It's another week talking to a local hero. And if I had a ringgit for every single person over the last 10 months that said, you have to speak to Ira, I could retire, close Zouk Digital, move to Bali, do yoga for the rest of my life. But I didn't get a ringgit, but here she is anyway. She's immensely popular, well loved here in Malaysia. She is doing the PR for ZALORA, but she's also a pioneer behind one of the new community-run clubs that is not just an exciting collaboration to get people into running, but it's also, which is super important, highlighting the importance and support of female runners who often don't feel safe running, even not just at night, but during the day or any time. She's a DJ, she's super cool, too trendy for me, but I'm gonna have a crack at chatting to her anyway. Ira, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And thanks for having me and that great introduction. If you ever decide to move to Bali and do yoga, then half of that amount is mine. I'm coming with you.
I will pay you commission, So where to start? I mean, obviously, let's briefly touch on your DJing experience, because obviously Zouk is a global music brand. It'd be really exciting. I knew about you before from your DJing. You used to do a lot of cool store launches and other stuff. So how did you get into that?
I started, I was interested for a really long time, actually. When I was still studying in Australia, I used to watch my friends DJ and I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. But I never got around to actually learning. And then a really good friend of mine was starting to pick it up. And he said, hey, why don't I just teach you the basics of beat matching? And I was like, sure, okay, yeah, why not? Let's mess around with this for a bit. And then it just started, and I enjoyed playing. Some really good friends of mine hired me to play their company party, and then they decided, hey, you want to come and play for a future music festival? And I was like, yeah. And then I played there.
That's pretty cool. That's quite a fast accession from store launch party to huge music festival.
Yeah. It was great. I'm very lucky.
And you still spinning?
Here and there, yes. I did a few virtual sets since lockdown happened. And I do also DJ now for the company. Actually, ZALORA's been having quite a few of our town halls, our celebrations, and that's where I come in and I DJ for them, which is quite nice that it's like joining two jobs.
You're popping up at the perfect time. I'm super excited. I really want to talk about Brand New Waves. It's something that has exploded on my social media. I see more and more people featuring it. Fadi, a very close photographer friend of ours, posted a ton of amazing photos this weekend of people of all different skills when it came to running, all different experiences, all achieving. And the one thing I really loved, Ira, was the celebrating of those who are perhaps less experienced runners completing the race, and the sense of community of you guys sitting and chilling afterwards and chatting. More importantly, when it comes to you, you're heading up the women's section of this, and there's a special reason for that. Do you want to elaborate a bit further for us?
Yeah, so women's division started when Brand New Waves, there was a lot of interest from the female runners to branch out and do our own thing. So we started a small women's division, we call it, of Brand New Waves, which had about, I think, 12 runners show up in the beginning. And now we're a group of 200 strong, all in a WhatsApp group chat, always raring to go and ready to run. So the reason why we did Brand New Waves Women's Division is just to empower the girls to run together. Brand New Waves is a community-run club, and we wanted to create a safe space and an environment where girls can run at night, can run with their friends and not feel, first of all, there's so many things when it comes to running for women that we found out through the group is, first you have the insecurity of starting a new sport. You know, that's one thing, women's participation in sports. There's a little bit of hesitance there. So they felt more confident when they saw that there were more girls running together, and that it's not a scary thing to start. You know, like with running, you don't have to be good at it at the beginning. You have to always build it up. It's about consistency. It's about keep like showing up all the time. And then the second thing was safety. So running in groups, running with other girls. A lot of girls feel that they can't run at night because there are eyes looking at them, or just people, like the risk of, you know, some girls are even like, oh, I don't ever want to get like kidnapped and, you know, molested or whatever it is if I run alone. So we provide that group for them to feel safe with.
That's amazing. The sense of community, especially not just in the security essence, but this year has been really tough. A lot of people have been pushed into isolation. So I'm sure everyone in your division is super happy to have that sisterhood bond and meet up in person and get that social side back after what's been a pretty difficult year.
Yeah, it's just that we're not gathering in large numbers. So back then when, before lockdown happened, we used to gather and there would be a strong group of 100 or 50 runners at one go, and it would be really nice. Like the vibe that you get, you know, you're all running together, there's music, somebody's got a speaker, we're cheering each other on. And that's the kind of experience that we want to capture with Brand New Waves and with Women's Division. But right now, because of restrictions and SOPs, we're just trying to stay safe. So we break up into smaller crews. And it's so nice to see everybody just kind of connecting with each other, even though they don't really know each other. So someone in the group chat would be like, hey, is anybody running in this area on this day? And then someone would be like, yeah, sure, I'll come and join and do that with you, you know? And then you have a tiny group of people who don't really know each other come together and run. And I think that's what this platform really is about. It's about connecting people with the same interests and, just encouraging them to do what they love.
That's amazing. And the other thing I really love about it is I would say a lifestyle product as well. I've seen some amazing mixtapes thrown out. I actually saw that someone we chatted to only a month ago, the amazing Sandra, did a mixtape for you guys recently. I love that you're connecting music into sports. It's super, and you even got your own merch, which is very trendy. So it's a real like lifestyle brand.
Yes, exactly. It's super lifestyle brand. Our founder, so the guy that founded Brand New Waves, Adam, he's so into the culture of running, and that's how he envisioned Brand New Waves to be a bridge between culture and sport, right? And bringing that lifestyle aspect into sport. So that's why we have things like, we have the merchandise, we have the mixtape, but we also, over the course of the second CMCO, because we were so scared of whether we're allowed to go out and run as a group, so we didn't do that for a couple of weeks. And we even had like a campfire session and this is more of a mental health thing. So we're trying to address issues that happen in running, and we had within the group Zoom calls just so people could share their feelings and talk about what their inhibitions are when it comes to running or exercise or themselves even. And it actually got to be quite an emotional session. We had one for Women's Division as well specifically, and to talk about sexual assault because of some issues that came up with, well, actually me. Sorry, my cat just ran across.
It's okay. As a celebrity special guest is always welcome.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting topic. I mean, we focused heavily on mental health. We recently just released a mental health video that had about 30 different contributors in it, some from Malaysia, some international, some from as far as America. It's a big issue, I'm sure you know, in our industry, the music industry. The most famous beacon of this, unfortunately, was Avicii, but it affects so many more. Did you find the lockdown a challenge, and what did you find some of the benefiting activities or methods you used to get through a tough time? Because it was a super unnatural time for everyone, especially someone like you and me, who are both very social creatures, to then just be slammed back in your home and being restricted from doing so much of normal life wasn't nice.
No, it was tough. I think I learned a lot about sitting with it. This is a new term for me because I used to be, yeah, you're right. I'm just the kind of person that is constantly on and going here and going there and doing this, doing that. So for the first time, I had to just kind of sit with it and just feel everything. And of course, there were times where it felt like a wall and I didn't know where I was going or what I was going to do and how I was going to fill up my time, and just generally really restless. Not like there were not things to do, there were things to do, but adjusting and doing it in a confined space, especially during the NCO, that was hard. So I turned to, well, I read a lot about self-help and self-care, mental health and how to deal with it. And I turned to meditation. I decided I will try to meditate every single day and just turn it into a routine, mostly just because I wanted to pick up the practice at first. But as I went along, I realized that it opened up a lot of doors for me to actually get inside myself and understand where I am with things and how I'm going to be dealing with them, which, yeah, I think that was the major practice that I picked up over that time.
Any apps or readings you can recommend to people who'll be watching this?
I like Insight Timer, just because they have such a wide range of different guided meditations, or if you want just sleep music. So I have it on almost every night now. At the moment, I'm doing abundance, the abundance mindset, because we're coming into a new year. We want to start everything fresh and great. So yeah, so I'll put that on. And if I'm not meditating for like 20 minutes, I think 20 minutes is all I can handle before I actually fall asleep at the moment. I'm trying to get longer, but we'll see. So if not, I'll just kind of put something on to fall asleep too. And there are these, like Yoga Nidra, that's a good one to fall asleep. And then there are like manifestation and abundance, like talks that I would listen to just to fall asleep. And apparently your subconscious will then kind of pick it up, and then that's how you develop that mindset. So Insight Timer, it's free.
Thanks for recommending. Definitely check it out. I think meditation is a new thing that a lot of people are taking up at once. I knew about it years ago, but I must be honest, I've struggled with it because I find it, as a creative, I find it really hard to switch off my thoughts, which is in essence a problem because you're constantly on the go. I would love to be able to switch them off sometimes. So I think I'll definitely give it a try. I want to return to something you touched on earlier. I know it's something that's a huge passion of yours, especially if you look at the safety mechanism of what you're trying to create with the sense of community and support through the women's division of Brand New Waves. Sexual harassment. This is another big topic, and one that I feel is becoming alarmingly regular and almost alarmingly acceptable as banter when it's not. I know that you're someone who's spoken out about it. I think it's fantastic that you have. I know that Sandra's spoken out about it. I know Ida's spoken out about it. There's definitely a voice now for people to say, hey, this is not acceptable. And I was totally shocked when I spoke to Ida last weekend about how frequently it happens. What is your story with it, and how do you see a message being put out to stop this from happening?
Yeah, okay, so I think the most defining story for this year at least, I mean, there were many before, but for this year when I've been really focused on running, and being part of this group and just pushing the message that women are strong and we are empowered and we can do what we want to do. So I posted a story with a girlfriend, and it was just a photo of us post-run, sweaty and, in our sports bras and tights. And that's another topic that I'll come back to about wearing sports bras while running. That's an issue. So I posted that, and then I got a very crude comment from this guy who said he wanted to lick my sweaty armpit and put a finger up, wherever. And then I was so offended, and I just took a screenshot. And this happened to be the same day that we had a New Wave campfire session discussing sexual harassment. And I straight away just sent it to the group and I say, you know, what are the odds that we are discussing this issue and this is happening as we speak? This needs to be addressed and highlighted. And then everyone just kind of started reposting and sharing and saying that this is disgusting behavior and that this guy should just like stop doing, you know, this is exactly what we're trying to stop. And then I completely blocked him afterwards. I just wanted to share that this does happen. And then we found out that a friend of ours worked for an organization that he was working at. So this guy wasn't even using a fake profile or anything like that. He was using his own profile. So he has no shame to come at a girl and say these things and think that there's no repercussions or we're too scared to do anything about it. And that's especially why I felt, you know, drama or no drama, I need to talk about this and like put it out there. Because once we discovered who he was, we also found out that there were other women that he was doing this to and that he had made them uncomfortable at their place of work by making these weird comments. And yeah, and then eventually he put out an apology, but not directly to me because we weren't speaking. So yeah, and this is the kind of behavior that it really starts with how you perceive a woman. Like, you clearly have no respect for what we're here to do and who we are. And you think you can just come and talk to us like that, because definitely there's no way a guy would go and talk to another guy like that, you know? Yeah, it was just completely shocking. And I'm just glad that the topic, you know, was spoken about.
Whether it's someone thinks it's funny or whether someone sees it as a form of dominance or to put women down or whatever, it's totally disgraceful. So it's fantastic that you've given a voice to it. I know it just reminded me, Talitha Tan has also given a voice to such things, and it's shocking that it happens so frequently, and people who do witness it or do experience it should always speak up, because it's unacceptable. As you say, it wouldn't be tolerated in the flesh. To hide behind a screen identity to do it is pathetic. What's your advice to people if they're on the receiving end of such a thing?
Yeah, I think for the girls that this does happen to, and this did happen to me as well, I did feel like, oh, are people going to be thinking that I'm drawing too much attention to myself by posting this and trying to kind of create a conversation around me? I had that insecurity for some reason. And then I realized when I really thought about it, like that's what society has told me to think. This is how we've been shaped. This is why people don't speak up when they're sexually harassed or abused, because they're so afraid that people are going to look at them in a way that, you know, they're trying to victimize themselves, which is not. That's completely not the case. Something has happened. It's really bad. It's really shit. So just talk about it. Let other people know. And then you don't really know who you're going to be saving when you do that, because a lot of girls spoke up and sent me messages and said, hey, thank you so much for sharing that, because that was really brave and I'm sorry that happened to you. And I was so affected by that, actually, because, and this is another thing, being vulnerable about it, that's another thing that you shouldn't be afraid of. Because when I spoke about that message, I actually recorded an Insta story talking about it, and then I just started crying. And I wasn't sure why I was crying. And it was like a lot of emotion, and then I thought that was frustration. It wasn't sadness, it was frustration that I'm trying to talk about something I truly love, my passion. It wasn't a thirst trap or anything like that. It was just a photo of me and my girlfriend sweating in our sports bras after a run with a caption that says, like, are we running today? You know, and that was it. And still I get bullied like that, and that's not fair. So I felt a bit of shame even after doing that story, but after seeing all the support that came in from other people and saying, like, you know, like, you should say what you feel, and it's okay to feel what you feel, and it's okay to cry because it is annoying and it is frustrating, then it got better. So no matter what, other people will support you if you speak out. Yeah.
You're definitely not accountable for someone else's behavior, nor should you apologize for being affected by what was basically an unwarranted approach by someone who said something you'd really not have liked to receive. So, and displaying emotion, you have that freedom of speech, you have that freedom to use your social media at will. And the fact is, you just said, and I think if we can send one message, is that please don't let people accept it and then have this form of bullying and not speak up, or at least ask people for help or support, because you don't know where it can lead. If it's falsified into some sort of acceptance, then it could be a very dangerous thing. So I think it's great that you speak up, and I've seen lots of other people do it. And the saddest thing, I think, is that it's just become a bit of a norm, which is sad. But at least you're doing something about it. Let me ask you this: it's obviously been a challenging year, 2020, for everyone involved. What is your number one or two or three targets for 2021? Let's just presume we can wipe the slate clean. What's 2021 got in store for Ira?
Wow. 2021. Okay, couple of things, right? On the DJing front, I definitely want to play gigs, as many as possible. I used to be like a little bit selective because of like juggling work and running and but like I think this year, this coming year, if I had the opportunity, I would play them all. Definitely want to also expand the music I play, because I play a lot of house and a lot of disco, and I want to try and get into other genres. Been listening to a lot of different music. Your Spotify Wrapped, that list of like genres, I was like, I didn't even expect like the ones that I do listen to not be there. There were so many new genres, and I was like, that's cool. Maybe it's something I should look into. With running this year, I've done quite a few challenges in 2020 that I'm very happy about. But I'm hoping to do another 21 kilometer somewhere outside of Malaysia next year. Yeah, because I did my first one in Bali in 2019, and that was amazing. So I want to go somewhere and do a half marathon. Yeah, and then with ZALORA, more events. I miss doing events. I think the events industry is so important, and we need to do it. And we can find ways around the SOPs and keeping people safe. And, actually a friend of mine is currently doing a one-man protest at the moment in a pasar malam or a night market. Yeah, so night markets are allowed to open and people gather there, and there are a lot of people. But why is it that events can't happen? So, yeah.
Yeah, Iqbal, the president of Alive, is campaigning to try and help events to come back, and good luck to him with that. With your targets, we hope to get you to come and spin up here, either at one of our venues, or we also have our Zouk Life Festival, which collaborates fitness and dance and DJs. We had fitness with the Peak last year, then Maybelline, and the crew came and did an amazing dance session with like 400 people. And then we had DJ Sura after, so we'll definitely try and get you involved. And then the last one, I highly recommend you go to Salabai and do that marathon. You run past like the Angkor Wat temple and stuff like that. It's like a beautiful, beautiful marathon, definitely worthwhile.
Yeah.
Ira, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you've given us some real gold there, not just in the positive nature of educating us about the sense of community you're building down in KL with Brand New Waves, and we encourage everyone to check it out and get involved, but also tackling a really difficult topic, which some people might be too scared of, and giving us stuff to look forward to in 2021. I have one disappointment, and it's rare that I'm disappointed, but you didn't introduce us to your cat.
Oh no, now she's hiding. Clay is my new kitten. I got her during CMCO actually, and she's so sweet. I adopted her from this family who couldn't take care of too many cats, so I'm trying to get her out from under the couch. She's like playing with this thing.
That's okay. We can edit in a picture.
She's okay. I've got tons of pictures of her. I've become that cat mom that has like the wallpaper, the lock screen. It's all her. Yeah.
Well, at least we'll get to feature her. But once again, Ira, thank you so much. Take care. Enjoy the end of year festivities, and hopefully 2021 will be dramatically better for everyone. Oh, there she is. And
Thank
stay
you
safe,
guys so much.
take care, and keep doing what you're doing.
Same to you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. Look
Talk
after
soon.
yourself.
You too. Bye.